Did anyone knows that what card that I took this what is? Everyone can answer in the chat. Yeah, it's red. It's a black card. Can anyone guess? Nope, not the rest. And definitely not with nothing. Yep, of course. Yeah, there's correct. There's a go blank. If you can see that the go blank is the student is forgetting everything that he already know. So yeah, this is actually the point of this whole presentation, because if it is worse if you are knowing the answer that you know the answer before you answered it, and because you forget to write it, you forget to share it with your friend, you totally uh, not knowing it now already. So yeah, the go blank card is really connected to this presentation. Okay, next is about why you should write the tournament report. There is several points that I want to share with you guys. Why we should write a war report, or to be honest, first is why and how. First, why should write the tournament report is because every people can learn from your experience. Uh, uh, People that maybe cannot come to the event can learn from you. People that actually there will never will also learn from you, because you are there to share what you got. You And there is several point how you should write it. How you should write your tournament report, like how to start, how the structure is vital, how to make the interesting content, and then if you make mistake is where the wisdom is gained. How to make it amusing, and where to pause it after you're done, and some example, and the last is question if you have one. Okay, next we are going to how to start. Uh, Sorry, let me take a bit. Writing a tournament report actually start before the tournament even begins. When you are attending the tournament as a judge, uh, you can already start to write your tournament report. Make sure to bring your notebook or something to write down details to help you remember something that you want to share in the event. Okay, there is four main point that you should take note first before you begin everything. First is the location. The second is the format. Third is the player count, and fourth is your role in the event. Don't forget to bring your own notepad, because when you get back from an event, either uh, at the evening or the next day, you should sit down, take an hour or two, write all of the exciting stuff you remember about the event. Uh, to make it simply, you don't forget everything. Just write every single interesting judge call you have, or every single interesting things that you have that in the event that you want to share. Don't be afraid if that is too much. It is easier to edit and clean up a piece of writing than is to start a brand new one that you start trying to remember everything that happened. Just write it down, everything that took interest from that you take interest in. And the more time passes between the event and uh, if you don't write it in the following day or the evening, you will start to forget, like the Go Blanc card that I shared earlier. Make sure to write down as many things as before you done every other task you want to get. The four main point here is the location. Why the location? Simply because people remember picture more than everything that happened. Like when you remember the location, you can start to remember. Oh, I just in this event. Uh, and then the format is also helping you to remember. Oh, the format is this, so you can remember everything that interesting. Like, oh, the format maybe the pioneer. Maybe you see that some people playing mono green, making a slow play or making a misplay that the opponent didn't even recognize, and yeah, you can sometimes you can make things interesting from that. And then the player count. The player count is like something that you should check because the more players that you can also have the more experience with it. And then the role of your event is the point that you can help you to remember everything that happened. Next is about structure, how to make it vital. First, start with the details bolded. Why? Because this is ensure that the reader get the basic information on which event the tournament report is from and the role of the writer. Say that you are the floor judge or the you are the head judge. Start it with the details bolded. So the reader will know uh, who are you in that event and why are you writing this tournament report. Next is the bullet point when you start a new segment and use the bold subtitle. This will make the reader easier to understand that you are moving into something new that you write. Next is use the AP and IP names. The AP and IP usually makes people easier to read about the content, such as which turn is this, uh, who's casting who's casting what. The AP and AP will help uh, the people that read it make it easier so he can read it like you that here. It is suggested that you can use a name like Adam as an AP player and Nancy like an AP player. But I think for me personally, I guess the AP and AP is already clear enough, so we can just play with AP and AP names. Okay, let me check first. Okay, next is the content. Okay, how to make it interesting. First is use your opinion. Use your opinion. When writing a report, use your own opinion to your advantage, adding how you felt about the interaction or the ruling, and providing your opinions on the event will transpire really. That event that transpire will really improve the quality of your report and the level of engagement that you can get from the reader. Like if you are just if you are trying to use your opinion, people will try to read it as your as the first person view. So he will try to apply himself at your stand. Like this, yeah. For example, if you mention the report that you have a certain investigation method that was effective and made you and the make that investigation method that you and that player will extremely uncomfortable, it will make it interesting. People will read it. Why did you use that investigation method that make people uncomfortable and something? Because they will help you in your tournament report, and in the next time that next time people read it, it will transpire to that it will add knowledge to the when they want to do the same thing. Just remember that you are telling your own story about the event. Your reader likely knows how tournament is structured and run. Of course, we are certified judges. Will exactly know how to the tournament is structured and run. But you are telling your own story here. They don't know how your experience in here and this event, how you're feeling, how you're thought, and how if you did a mistake or not. Yeah, tournament report should reflect on what you felt is really important, and it will be interesting for the reader to read it also, and then skip the necessary. Remember, there is a lot of interesting things in the event, but there is also a lot of unnecessary things in the event. For example, that when I last judged in the Singapore, people almost 80% of people ask me about, can I check the deck list of my opponent in the uh, post game before I start boarding? Yeah, for me it's a repeated question, and it's unnecessary and unimportant, so I don't add it in the tournament report. Uh, okay, let me drink first. Okay, there is a lot of unnecessary things also that such as the number of deck check you did, the time extension, and other minor details. You should skip that, because yeah, it is not giving people more knowledge, because yeah, they don't need to know how many deck checks you did, how many time extension you gave, but they want to know if have something happen in the deck check. For example, if the cards is missing, or the cards is somehow slides off, and then it rip or something, people will want to know that, and uh how you make it correct. Okay, next is about the mistake. Don't worry about the mistake. Mistakes are where the wisdom is gained, and your experience and mistake is a great educational things to the people that will read your tournament report. And you have to remember that every judge is just only a human. And here, seeing the experience and mistake of other judges in tournament reports is a great educational experience for the reader. Through sharing the problem we face, we can help other judges avoid similar mistake in the future. Particularly if you can provide some analysis of your own and how you will improve. Like, if you made some mistake, you realize it, you share your mistake to the player, to the tournament report, how you correct it in the future, what should you remember, what should you write more about the mistake, so in the future you will not make the same mistake. It will make the next event you judge will become more and more, yeah, you will improve as soon as you realize the mistakes. Sharing the mistake can be a little difficult emotionally. Of course, people don't want to be judged. Even if we are judged, we don't want to be judged. Uh, so sharing the mistake may be difficult emotionally, personally for you. But remember that every single other judge is only human, and every single other judge makes mistakes sometimes too. No one will think any less of you and your ability to admitting it. And in fact, people will respect you if you admit that you make mistake and more doing so. Okay, how to make it amusing? Tell the reader once of a little story. Most of us can wait for something to share, something to happen. Especially people that are not judging in that event will want to know what happened in that event. For example, some ridiculous call you got, some interesting call you got. That's the stuff you should write in your report. And also, and don't forget, you have to enjoy the things you write. Because if you don't enjoy writing your report, it probably means that you think it's boring. And if the writer thinks that what he wrote is boring, then other people will not enjoy it as well. Have some fun when you're writing it. If you think the call was especially ridiculous or weird, if you find that the judge call is, huh, we are playing in competitive and you're still asking for this, yeah, just try it. Just write the simple little stories that will help you to retell the story of your event. Okay. Next is where to post it. Uh, where to post it is the the most easiest one is in your local judge group. In your local judge group, you can share it with your local judge, telling the others that what happened in your event, what happened when you judge, what happened in the interesting quality that you got. You can share it in your local jazz group, and sometimes when you share it, some people will help you to up it into blogs.magicjudges.org. It will help other people from other country to reach out for your tournament report and learn from you. Okay. Next is I will share my own tournament report. Let me type it in the chat for you guys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me copy it first. Oops. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Um, okay. 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 There is my tournament report. If you don't mind, you can open it. So and I will continue to the next example. First example is how to start with. Uh, if you see that I read every single detail when I start. It's MTG. Will take this. No, no, no. This MTG saya championship final cycle day one because we have 2 days in the saya championship. This is the example that I read the day one and the location as well, the time, the total player, the format, and my role. It will make the people know what you do there, how many players playing in the tournament, and what format did they play in the tournament, uh, what's your role, and what can you share in the event. Next, sorry. Hmm. Next is make it interesting. I read here. Uh, I use the bold statement in the mini title like here, like at the main event deck check. I use my opinion. This is my first big event overseas. Uh, I want to see how it is going. People will try. People will try to read it as your stand. How you. People will try to become you in the tournament report. Okay, this is from the all tournament report. I think the most important thing is if you make a mistake, don't forget to share it. Here, in the example I give, I was doing a mistake. For this example is that if non-active player killing the active player spell queller. He asked me whether I can cast Ragafan for its death cost. At the event, I said, yeah, you can cast the dash because the dash is also an alternative course. But when I writing the tournament report, after I check again in the gatherer, there is the gatherer said that if a player casts a card without paying its mana cost, they can choose to cast it for any alternative cost, such as emerge, which is in this case the dash. However, player can for additional costs such as escalate or kicker in this case. But yeah, in this case, Ragavan dash is the alternative cost, so you cannot cast it with the dash because we the player casts the card without it playing its mana cost. So it will it is something that I learned because I am writing the tournament report. Just imagine that I am not writing the tournament report. It will just make me forget about this, and then the next time it happen again, I will proudly, I will confidently saying the same things because I haven't checked it yet because I didn't learn from my mistake. But when I learn from my mistake, I know that you cannot cast this for as for any alternative cost, such as dash in this case. So it is good that you are if you are willing to share your mistake in the when you read the tournament report. Actually, that's all, I guess, from my. Is there any question? I will feel free to type in the question in the chat, and I will try to answer it. Or any questions, you may type it on the chat. Oh, okay. I get the question from Carlo. Do you keep a notebook with you when you judge and just keep notes and all? When I judge, I bring my iPad and I write everything in my iPad. Uh, Personally, for me, I think writing is more. It makes your brain think and remember it more than you are just type it in your phone. So when I judge, usually I brought my iPad with me, and if there is something players did ask, I can easily access the internet and all. So I just bring my iPad with me to write. Yeah, you can write notes in your iPad. Yeah, electronic device is so handy right now. But yeah, the old school notebook is when I don't bring my iPad, I also always bring the old school notebook and the pen, of course, something to write with it. Okay, as how frequent do you write tournament report? Only in big event or also write for the smaller event? Uh, I usually write in the bigger event for the tournament report. In the smaller event, I just share it with my fellow judges in my country. To be make it smaller, they just in my town. If I have a interesting question or uh, if there is other uh, un- unusual just call, I just share it in my local judges friends if it's smaller event. But if it is bigger event, I want people learn from it, especially when something like the say championship. I want people to learn how and what I'm feeling, what happened in that event. But if it is it is not required, but uh, it is good if you want to keep writing the tournament report even if it's a smaller event because it will help people to learn more and more even if it is a smaller event. I hope it's answer your question. Okay, you're welcome, Carlo. Uh, yeah, I also when I wrote the tournament report, I really enjoy it because I remember what happened at the saya tournament at that time. When taking notes, when is the perfect time to write it? Benny asks. I myself always want to take note, but looks it looks time to write it. Uh, for me, I write it as soon as possible. So if let's say that I have an interesting judge call, and then after answering the judge call, after giving the ruling and something, I usually write it right there. I taking notes at that. You don't have to write it. You don't have to write the details of it because just write the key point at what judge call you take. That I said that after that, after the event, the in the evening of the event or the tomorrow, you just try to remember what happened at that judge call you have because you are already taking notes. You can easily remember to just yeah, you can easily remember after you're taking notes. So my uh I think you should write as fast as possible, as soon as possible that you can write. To Carlo, this is not my first tournament report. I have written it at when I think 2018 because there is no such a big event that I should write before 2022. Okay. Martin Marcelo, what do you write when nothing particularly interesting happened during the tournament? Like nothing at all. Uh, Actually, there. You like I said, you don't have to really have to write the tournament report. But if there is nothing happen in the tournament, I don't think there. Yeah, yeah, you can write something that happened outside the tournament. Like Ben said, like logistical concern, like for example people are missing their promo card. Yeah, you can write about that, how the people help each other to help the promo card. uh, let's say that there will always be a lost and found, how you handle the lost and found. There is for me in the event there is a lot of things to write, even if it's small, like how pen doesn't works. Like you give the player a new pen and then that pen is not working, and how you tell the player to okay, I will change the pen for you. Like that's yeah. Even we'll always have something. Uh, for let's say this tournament report, I will say that what inspired me to write the tournament report is that I want to share with people. Yeah, as this title of this presentation said, that sharing is caring. I want people to know that I made a mistake. Uh, I how I feel when I judge in the big event, especially overseas like the SEA tournament like here. I want people to learn from me. I want people to know that uh, judging is not something that you take it for granted. But yeah, judging is fun. Judging is uh, things that people people often ignore. So this tournament report is just like a proof that judging is fun. Something will happen in the tournament, and yeah, that inspired me a lot to write the tournament report. And yes, just like Benny said, even if the event is canceled, it is still worth to report why the event is canceled. Is it something people will want to know how you're feeling when the event is canceled? Is it troubling you? Is it make you angry? Is it make it you that uh, is it make you want to complain to the TO? Everything can happen. Everything can be reported. Especially that's why the news is never done. So yeah, even if the event is canceled, the tournament report still can be read. Any other question? Okay. Okay. Stephen asks, have you ever experienced while you were writing notes and there was another call and you forgot what you are about to note after? What did you do to prevent it on the next event? When I wrote the notes in the event, especially when there is round playing, I usually glance over the players first. Uh, if there is others judges around the players or around me, I will write it there. But if I am the only one there, I will just hold it in my memory before I took a note from it. If let's say you are judging alone, I personally, if you are judging alone, I will write everything that happened between rounds when the pairings before not posted yet. So in the next event, if my my suggestion is that look around you. If there are other people that can help you when there is sudden judge call, yeah, took the road immediately. But if there are no others around you, just remember it first before you taking a notes. If there are any other question. Hmm.
For any questions, comments, or suggestions, you may type it.
Sorry, Robin. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
For what are your tips and recommendations for those who haven't done one but would really like to write a tournament report? What would
Sorry,
you
can you repeat?
what would be your recommendation, or your advice to those who haven't done one but would really write? I'm sorry, would really want to write a tournament report.
Okay. Uh, for my recommendation, if you want to try to really to write a tournament report, use the local tournament in your store in your local game store. For example, FNM. Even if you are not judging there, if you're let's say you just playing there, and you spot interesting things that happen, you can start taking notes from that. Then you try to write something that happened in the FNM in your local game store. It The tournament report is not limited to only when it happened when you judging. It only happen. You can just write tournament report when you are not playing. You can also try to write the tournament report even if you are playing. Just you just share your thought about what happened in the tournament. You what happened uh, what interesting thing happened in the tournament. Even if you are playing, say, let's say you are playing and your opponent may make mistakes, and that mistake is interesting for you. Yeah, you can try to write it down, and then you can share it to other people also. And practice make perfect. The tournament report, yeah, yeah. As I was saying, tournament report is not limited to the bigger event, but the smaller event, even the FNM, you can try to write the tournament report for it. There is no harm trying to write some things that interesting and share it to other people. Okay.